are them? All these members are lives in our mind and our heart because they are immortalized. Consider the poem Not Marble Nor the Gilded Monuments. This poem also belongs to the time and the immortalization. This poem is written by William Shakespeare. Now let's see about him. William Shakespeare was an English poet, playwright and an actor. He was widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language. He is considered as the father of English literature. Let's see the line-by-line explanation of the poem from Sonnet 55. Sonnet 55 builds up on Horace's theme of poetry, outlasting physical monuments to the dead. In Horace's poetry, the poet is himself immortalized by his poetry. But in this sonnet, Shakespeare seeks to build a figurative monument to his beloved, the fair lord. The fair lord is not described or revealed in any way in this sonnet. Instead, the sonnet just addresses of immortality through verse. The ravages of time is a recurrent theme in the sonnet of Shakespeare. So, Sonnet 55 is one of the most famous works of Shakespeare's and notable deviation from other sonnets in which he appears insecure about his relationship and his self-worth. Here, we find an impassioned burst of confidence as the poet claims to have the power to keep his friend's memory alive every morn. Now let's look at the line-by-line explanation of this poem. First I am going to explain from line 1 to line 4. This line starts with not marble and ends with sluggish time. Okay friends, come on, let's know the meaning of these lines. The first stanza talks about how time will not destroy the poem. Through it, will destroy the world's most magnificent structures. He wishes to say the poetry is stronger than these structures. At the very beginning, the poet says that whether it is marble or gold-plated monuments of princes, all will get destroyed, but the magnificence of his poetry will alive. The subject of poetry will remain bright and it will shine forever in comparison to a neglected stone monument which is spoiled with time. Time is compared to a slut who loses her glow and beauty with time. Here, Shakespeare compares time unfavorably to a female subject. Okay, now let's move on to the next stanza, line number 5 to line number 8. It starts with when, wasteful and ends with memory. Okay friends, open your textbook and look at the line by line explanation. These lines begins with a new idea. Shakespeare has so far spoken of two destructive forces, time and the second one is war. So the two destructive forces are first one time and the second one is war. He is here describing war destroying stone structures which relates back to the marble and gilded monuments in line 1 that likewise do not last. The poet says that when the destructive wars will take place, they will destroy statues and also due to its tumult, all the work of the masons will be destroyed. Even the sword of Mars, god of war, or the destructive fire of war will be able to destroy your memory. The poet is basically saying that even wars will not destroy the written memories of your life, for they will survive even after deadly wars. Move on to the next stanza, line number 9 to line number 14. The line number 9 is starting with gain death and ending with lover's eyes. This stanza does not talk about survival but of human appreciation. The poet continues to praise his subject. There is still a suggestion of survival, but survival of human appreciation and not of the verse itself. Doom. Doom refers to a judgment day, suggesting that this poetic record of his subject will survive and be praised to the end of time. Slight deviation of the meter in the words even in creates emphasis for this permanency. Here the poet saying that the death and enmity destroys everything, but poetry written on the subjects will survive, will move ahead, find place and will be immortalized for all generations to come. Everything else will be judged on the judgment day. The ending couplet is a summary of the survival theme. The couplet not only summarizes the rest of the sonnet but also seems to contradict itself. Here, the judgment goes with the talk of the judgment day in the last stanza, but implies that the subject is alive and will be judged on that day. But dwelling in lover's eyes suggests that the subject is love itself. Thus, Shakespeare seems to consider the subject so lovely that he is a personification of love, which could be conquered and to which no poetry can do justice. So the theme of the sonnet is that the subject will be honored forever in the verses, though the verses are unworthy for them. So friends, this was the stanza-wise explanation of the poem. Now let's move on to the important question answers and also the important terms and its meaning from this lesson. Word meanings. Outlive, which means live afterwards. Rhyme, poetry. Overturn, destroy. Room, place or space. Dwell, which means live. Answer the following questions briefly. Question number 1. Why do you think the rich and powerful people get monuments and statues erected in their memory? Answer is, the rich and powerful often get monuments and statues erected in their memory. This practice has continued even in modern times. Such people often want them to be remembered by people of future generations. Question number 2. Describe how the monuments and statues brave the ravages of time. Answer. The monuments and statues brave the ravages of time in various ways. They withstand the vagaries of nature and get somewhat tarnished in the process. Some of the monuments may survive for a few hundred years, like the Taj Mahal. Some of them may survive for a few thousand years, like the pyramids. While doing so, these monuments often tell us about their glorious days. Move on to the third question. Why does the poet refer to time as being sluggish? Answer is, in this case, the poet is referring to the tarnishing effect which time can have on many things. For example, what once may have been a magnificent monument is no more than ruins. In the name of some of the famous historical monuments, example, Sphinx and pyramids. So dear students, in today's class we have learned about the chapter Not Marbles Nor the Gilded Monuments, written by the great poet William Shakespeare. It's a very interesting and important poem. I know it's a very tough poem. So don't worry, study well because your exams are coming very soon. So in next video, I will meet you again with another interesting as well as important chapter. Till then, goodbye, have a great day, study well, bye-bye.